जय नृसिंहदेव 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 जय नृसिंहदेव जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंदे. Readings from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Text 7 to 9. The text on the board is 9, and the chapter is titled Instruction for Civilized Human Beings. Before getting into the text, we will chant the invocation prayers. I will chant. Please repeat. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam Sukhamukat amrita dravasamyutam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvibhavakaha Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu abadhreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Text 9. Eka karma mayan yajnan Eke karma mayan yajnan Jnanino yajna vittamaha Jnanino yajna vittamaha Atma samyamane niha Atma samyamane niha Juhvati jnana dipite Juhvati jnana dipite Eke karma mayan yajnan Jnanino yajna vittamaha Atma samyamane niha Juhvati jnana dipite Eke karma mayan yajnan Jnanino yajna vittamaha Atma samyamane niha Juhvati jnana dipite Eke karma mayan yajnan Jnanino yajna vittamaha Atma samyamane niha Juhvati jnana dipite Eke karma mayan yajnan Jnanino yajna vittamaha Atma samyamane niha जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते एके कर्ममयान् यज्ञान् ज्ञानिनो यज्ञवित्तमः आत्मसंयमानेनीह जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते एके कर्ममयान् यज्ञान् ज्ञानिनो यज्ञवित्तमः आत्मसंयमनेनीह जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते। माताजी, एके कर्ममयान् यज्ञान् ज्ञानिनो यज्ञवित्तमः आत्मसंयमानेनीह जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते एके कर्ममयान् यज्ञान् ज्ञानिनो यज्ञवित्तमः आत्मसंयमनेनीह जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते एके some karmamayan resulting in a reaction such as the killing of animals, yajnan sacrifices, jnaninaha persons advanced in knowledge, yajnavittamaha who know perfectly well the purpose of sacrifice, atma samyamane by self-control, anihaha one who are without material desires, juhvati execute sacrifice, jnanadipite enlightened in perfect knowledge. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, please repeat. Because of an awakening of spiritual knowledge, those who are intelligent in regard to sacrifice, who are actually aware of religious principles and who are free from material desires, control the self in the fire of spiritual knowledge or the knowledge of the absolute truth. They may give up the process of ritualistic ceremonies. Purport. People are generally very much interested in karmakanda ritualistic ceremonies for the elevation to higher planetary systems, but when one awakens his spiritual knowledge, he becomes uninterested in such elevation and engages himself fully in jnana yajna to find the objective of life. The objective of life is to completely stop the miseries of birth, death and return home back to Godhead. When one cultivates knowledge for this purpose, he is considered to be on higher platform than who is engaged in karma yajna or fruitive activities. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Let's also read the two more verses and the translations. Na dadayetamisham śrāddhe na chadyat dharma tattvavid muni annasyat para pritir yatha na pashuhimsaya. The translation goes like this. A person fully aware of religious principles should never offer anything like meat, eggs or fish in śrāddha ceremony, and even if one is a kṣatriya, he himself should not eat such things. When the suitable food is prepared with ghee and offered to saintly persons, the function is pleasing to forefathers and the Supreme Lord, who is never pleased when animals are killed in the name of sacrifice. Naita drishaparo dharmo nirnam saddharma ichchatam nyaso dandasya bhuteshu mano vakaya jasyayah. Persons who want to advance in superior religion are advised to give up all envy of other living entities, whether in relationship to body, words, or mind. There is no religion superior to this. And then we have our words today. So let's invoke some auspiciousness before we try to comment on this verse. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vande Aham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakhagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nitnamine Namacharya Padayani Takprapadayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Upritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. So today is a very auspicious day because today is also the disappearance of Srila Sanatana Goswami, who is one of the 6 Goswamis, and also this day is celebrated as Guru Purnima, and traditionally everybody in India is honoring their teachers on this day. So we'll also discuss a little bit of the pastimes of Sanatana Goswami in relation to this verse, so that we can remember that great personality on this day and beg for his mercy. So this title is this chapter is titled Instruction to Civilized Human Beings. So that means that there are 2 categories of human beings broadly: uncivilized human beings and civilized human beings. So uncivilized human beings, they simply live animal life. They don't bother about what is good, what is bad, what should be done, what should not be done. So they have no discrimination about what is pravritti, what is nivritti. So this is explained by Krishna in divine and demoniac nature, that demoniac people, they are basically called uncivilized people, and they simply do what they want to do. And they think that they make their own rules of life. I am the boss. I make my own rules of life. This is how they think. And they think that it is great if they can do it. So, in that sense, civilization does not necessarily mean what is externally seen as display of power or display of wealth. Because that's what we understand as civilization. Sometimes we say civilized world, uncivilized world, or whatever, we use this kind of terms. That's the uncivilized person, and like this. So, in Kali Yuga, civilization simply means that one has power, one has money, one has some sort of demoniac style by which one flaunts his body in different ways. So we think that this is civilization. We can show off the body, 8-pack, 7-pack, or somebody else can show off, women can show off their body, trying to dress as much less as possible. So these things we think that this is civilization. Advancement of civilization means shrinking of cloth for women. I think this is civilization. Very advanced civilization, no cloth. Thing like that. And then this kind of idea is there. But then here in Bhagavatam, civilization is defined as completely different thing. A civilized person means that he is situated in Varnashrama. It's called civilization. That he can position himself in one of the Varnas and one of the Ashramas, in one of these social divisions and spiritual divisions, and he can act according to the capacity in his position in Varnashrama. This is where civilization starts. Without being in Varnashrama, a person is considered as uncivilized person. This is the definition of civilization in Bhagavatam. And now, these instructions are meant for civilized people. That means people who understand the basic principles of Varnashrama. How to function in a God-conscious society. This is called civilized society. If there is no God consciousness, the society is animal society, because in Ishopanishad purport, Prabhupada says Ishopanishad is not meant for cats and dogs. So if someone thinks that Ishopanishad is not meant for me, then he is living the life of cats and dogs. So we are not bothered about that society. Of course we are bothered about that society because we want to bring God consciousness there. We want to give them the holy name. They can understand that they are human beings, and then they can come to human platform. So now the instructions given here are meant for people who are in human platform. And previously, Karmakanda ceremonies were discussed, and predominantly the ceremonies to please the forefathers was discussed, śrāddha ceremony. Because Karmakandis are very particular that they want to please their forefathers, and they want to go to Pitraloka, because Pitraloka is a very nice place. And if one goes there, one can really have a good life, enjoyable life. And if one trains their son properly, then they can also get very nice things, because the son is offering oblations every time he is doing śrāddha ceremony. So they also get nicely fed there, they also get nicely treated there, and it's also a nice place to stay. So these Karmakandis are very much interested in go to Pitraloka. This is one of their great aims, that somehow if I can go to Pitraloka, the loka of the great forefathers, and then I can find my seat there, and I can sit there in the assembly of Aryama, who is the presiding deity of Pitraloka, then my life is done. I think like that. And also Karmakanda people are very much interested in going to Swargaloka. So either they want to go to Pitraloka or they want to go to Swargaloka. Nandana Kanana is there, Indra's gardens are there, so nice dancing apsaras are there, there is Somabana, there is Surabana. We can drink all that, high quality intoxication in mode of goodness, and also enjoy sex life in mode of goodness. They think life is done. So Krishna explains this kind of mentality as Alpamedasham, very limited intelligence. But there is some medasa, some intelligence is there. Because they at least understand that they have to respect the scriptures. So that much intelligence they have. That we have to respect the scriptures, we have to do some punya karma so that we can properly be situated in our next life. So they understand that there is next life. But their understanding is very much limited. All this understanding of next life, punya karma, enjoyment, this is all very much limited in bodily concept. They think that there is nothing other than this material world, and in this material world we should keep on doing nice things, we should keep on doing punya karma, and by keep on doing punya karma, we can always keep on enjoying, and we can eternally be situated in enjoyment in this material world. This is called the Mimamsavada philosophy, where one thinks that our enjoyment is directly proportional to our work. It's called Mimamsavada philosophy. They don't have so much idea about God or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These ideas they think is all something vague philosophy which is not required. Already material world is in front of us, and there is opportunity to enjoy this material world. We should simply utilize this opportunity and enjoy this material world. It's called Mimamsavada philosophy. And then when one is in this consciousness, but one actually sees over many, many lifetimes that things are not as straightforward as it looks. That work is not, or enjoyment is not directly proportional to one's work. I want to make gulab jamun. I buy all the ingredients to make gulab jamun. I also make gulab jamun. But what comes out is a very hard ball which can break my teeth. When somebody else makes gulab jamun, it's so nice, it's so soft, it's oozing with sugar syrup, it's so reddish, it looks very inviting. That the moment I see that gulab jamun, I want to eat. But when I make gulab jamun, it is so repelling. The moment I see the gulab jamun, it looks like a bullet, real bullet. You can put it in the gun and fire it and somebody's head will go away. So one understands that work and enjoyment are not directly proportional. Then there is something else which is there in the process of making this gulab jamun, which actually makes the result different for different people. According to their qualification to make gulab jamun, the gulab jamun comes out nice or it doesn't come out nice. So one starts very intelligently thinking that how this result gets affected. But in order to intelligently think like this, one has to undergo millions and millions of lifetimes of experience in the Karma Kanda platform. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Siddhaye means that one starts thinking beyond bodily platform. This is called siddhaye. But that's not so easy. Millions and millions of lifetime it takes to think like that. That why this gulab jamun is not coming properly. Otherwise, one simply thinks that by training I can make this gulab jamun proper. Everything can be done by training. By training, I will make this gulab jamun proper. But it doesn't work like that. So the result always differs differently for different people. So then one starts thinking why the result is different. Then one is told that the result simply doesn't depend on you. So then one is asking, then what should I do with the result if I have to get good results? Then one is told, you should do charity. You should give away your results. Then one starts thinking, okay, if I give away my results, then I will be properly situated. So he starts giving away his results. Makes gulab jamun and then invites everyone and then they go, okay, take gulab jamun, get gulab. One things will become all right. But the point is that after some time, one starts very intelligently thinking that first of all, I wanted to make gulab jamun to eat myself. Okay? And now I am making gulab jamun and I am giving everybody else and I am told I should not eat this gulab jamun. So why should I make this gulab jamun at all? If I am not supposed to eat it. So this is called the platform of jnana. Giving up making gulab jamuns. Called platform of jnana. Which means that one starts thinking that I should not engage in this fruitive work of which the result I don't have any control and I am also supposed to give up the result. Because in the material world, one simply is motivated to work because of result. So if I have to give up result, then why should I work? It's a logical question one asks. When one asks this, then one comes to platform of jnana. But then this platform of jnana is also not so easy because Krishna says, Klesho adhikaratas tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavabdiravapyate. So now I know that I should give up gulab jamun, but because I see gulab jamun, I get so much attracted to gulab jamun. The process of giving up this gulab jamun is so painful that whenever I see gulab jamun, then my senses are craving for it. But then I have to say, neti, 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 this gulab jamun is not absolute truth. So this is maya. So I should give it up by practice of my mental speculation. So painful that you can see gulab jamun, but you cannot eat it. You like it, but you have to hate it. Very painful situation. As Krishna says, avyakta hi gatir dukkham. This process of jnana is filled with misery. At some times one thinks, okay, one gulab jamun, what happens if I just eat it? He eats it. Then everyone says, oh, he has fallen down, He ate gulab jamun, finished. All his tapasya is finished. By one gulab jamun, entire tapasya finished. So somehow he comes to this idea that I should stop this material activity. Then he takes the path of yoga, so that when he sees gulab jamun, he closes his eyes 3/4 and then he starts meditating on something else except gulab jamun. The whole process of withdrawing one's senses from the objects of sense enjoyment, called pratyahara. But pratyahara is also not so easy. Before that you have to do yama, niyama, asana, so many things, and pranayama. Just not to eat one gulab jamun, one has to control his breath, one has to follow so many rules and regulations, one has to know how to control the 10 life force which is going inside the body, and then by controlling all those life force which is going inside the body, when one sees a gulab jamun, one pulls down the life force which causes the craving for the gulab jamun, and then keeps it under his control. One pulls down the life force which is circulating in the stomach, which asks for the gulab jamun. Keep that under the control. So much of thing just not to eat one gulab jamun. Whole yogic process. And then finally he comes to samadhi, where one is not bothered about gulab jamun. But still one heavenly lady comes and says, this is heavenly gulab jamun. Would you like to have it? He sees the heavenly gulab jamun and falls down. Like Vishwamitra. He fell down just by the ankle bell of Menaka. So again, the process of yoga, even though it's very nice, very, very attractive. Sometimes they advertise, you do this yoga, Kundalini yoga. You take the Kundalini from your stomach, from the base of your stomach, you raise it to the top of your head. Oh, so great. I can raise it to the top of my head. And then you sit, Om, Aum, Doom, Dom, and in between one gulab jamun comes. Very difficult. Very difficult. Very difficult to give up. This idea that I have to stop enjoyment and concentrate on something else other than this material body. So that's why Prabhupada is talking here in the purport that real knowledge means devotional service. Real knowledge means devotional service. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na iti mameti so Arjuna vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mam upashitaha bahavo jnana tapasa putamadbhava magataha. So the process, the real process of jnana, the real process of understanding I am not this body is not in hating the gulab jamun, saying neti, 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 but simply accepting that gulab jamun in relation with Krishna. This is called devotional service. That gulab jamun is made for the pleasure of Krishna. It is offered for the pleasure of Krishna. And Krishna already took that gulab jamun and then he gave it as his mercy to us. And we happily accept that gulab jamun as Krishna's mercy. This is knowledge. Janma karma chame divyam. That Krishna has the potency to convert this material gulab jamun, which is just a ball of sin, if it is not offered to him, into something completely transcendental which comes from the spiritual world. Krishna has that potency, divyam, chame divyam, to understand this. And then accept everything in relation to Krishna. Ritairtam ya pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani. Krishna tells Brahma that you have to see everything in relation to me if you don't want to become proud. If you don't want to become proud that I am the best eater and maker of gulab jamun, then we have to simply accept everything in relation to Krishna. That the ability to make gulab jamun simply comes from Krishna. Paurusham Rishu. Krishna says in 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita that I am the ability in men. If I can make nice soft gulab jamuns, it is simply Krishna. So see everything in relation to Krishna. Accept everything in relation to Krishna. Then the whole process becomes easy, because as our constitutional position, either in the material world or in the spiritual world, is to remain completely attached. That is our constitutional position. When we are in material world, we remain completely attached to this material body. When we are in spiritual world, we remain completely attached to the service of the Lord. So our constitutional position is to remain completely attached, either in the wrong platform or in the right platform. So this whole circus of remaining detached in the process of jnana and yoga is so dry that it's so painful. So the solution is to attach ourselves into the right platform, so that detachment on the wrong platform automatically happens. Automatically happens. And this attachment in the right platform is so joyful because there is reciprocation of love between the devotee and the Lord in all times. Sanatana Goswami was coming to Jagannath Puri from Vrindavan because he was thinking that he wanted to take some close association with the Lord. And then he was traveling with a joyful mood that I will go to Jagannath Puri, I will serve the Lord intimately, I will take some very close association with Him, I will hear a lot of instruction from Him, and then my life will be successful. Like that he was coming. The second meeting of Sanatana Goswami with the Supreme Lord. So, when he was coming on the way in Jarikanda forest, he actually drank some water. And because of the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, that water caused a lot of rashes on his body. And then this fluid started oozing out of his body started stinking, and all sorts of things were happening in the body. So Sanatana Goswami became very sad that my condition has become so bad that I am not even fit to go in the direct road where the Simhadwara is there, because all the servants of Jagannath are running here and there on Simhadwara, trying very busily to serve Jagannath, and by mistake if they touch me, then they will get contaminated. So now, if I cannot even walk on the direct road to Jagannath temple, what to say of going and meeting the Lord and being very intimate with Him? So he thought that this is totally useless, everything is spoiled. And then, to actually add to his misery, whenever Mahaprabhu would come, he would embrace him very tightly, and he felt so bad that his body is stinking and his body is full of fluids, and then Mahaprabhu is embracing that body. So he used to try to run away from Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu used to catch him and embrace him. So this Leela was going on for some time, and then Sanatana Goswami came to this wonderful idea that I will wait here till the Rath Yatra, and on the Rath Yatra day, I will simply jump in front of the wheel of the Rath and give up this useless body which is not helping me in any way. I will commit suicide. I will commit suicide. So this is Sanatana Goswami's idea. So then the Lord, because He is Antaryami, He is the Supreme Lord who is actually situated in everybody's heart, He clearly knows what Sanatana Goswami is thinking. So one day when he comes to meet Sanatana Goswami and Haridas Thakur, then he chastises Sanatana Goswami. How dare you think that you can actually finish off this body? And then he says, this body is not yours. This body is mine. You have no right over this body. And I have many plans for this body. What service this body is going to do, what service I am going to take from this body, what service I am going to accept from this body. I have many plans for this body. So how dare you can finish off this body? How you are thinking that this body is yours and you can jump in front of the wheel and you can finish off this body? Then Sanatana Goswami understood. He understood that he is not this body. And this body completely belongs to the Lord. And he has no right over his own body. This is jnana. This is a platform of jnana. Simply to understand that I am not this body, but I am something beyond this body, and I have a purpose which is different from the purpose of maintaining this body. And also to understand that this body is not maintained by my own effort. This perfect platform of jnana. So in devotional service, jnana is very much included. By the mercy of the Lord, one easily understands that I am not this body. One does not have to hate gulab jamun to understand that I am not this body. One can eat gulab jamun and understand that I am not this body. Because by taking prasadam, one's heart gets purified. But by purification of heart, one understands very clearly that I am not this body. Same way, one time Mahaprabhu invited Sanatana Goswami for lunch during the same episode. And then Sanatana Goswami came for lunch. And when he came for lunch, Mahaprabhu asked him, what way did you take to come? Sanatana Goswami said, I came through the beach. And Mahaprabhu was very surprised. And then he asked, you came through the beach in the afternoon when the beach sand is like fire. It is burning like fire. You came in that beach sand. Then Sanatana Goswami said, yeah, I came through the beach sand. Then Mahaprabhu asked him, why? Then Sanatana Goswami said, my body is so contaminated that if I come through the proper way, I may contaminate many servants of Jagannath. So in order to avoid contaminating the servants of Jagannath, I came through the beach. So a yogi, he also does the same thing, but very artificially. When there is summer, when there is sun, what the yogi does, he actually puts around him a ring of fire, and then he puts a lot of fire, charcoal, burning charcoal in some earthen pot, and then he puts that earthen pot on top of his head, and then he sits into the ring of fire, and then he does yoga, trying to control his mind in the most adverse material circumstance. But we can see from Sanatana Goswami's Leela that this going through this adverse circumstance, like walking on the beach when the sun is burning and the sand is burning, is very easily done. Not because one artificially tries to control over the body, but because simply one is driven by the love of God. So jnana is there, yoga is there, karma is there, attachment is there, everything is there, but everything is properly there in the process of devotional service. So that's why Prabhupada says in the discussion on the 6th chapter, on the discussion on the yoga ladder, that if one goes through this whole process, coming from karma kanda to karma yoga, and then to jnana yoga, and then to dhyana yoga, and then to bhakti yoga, going through this whole process like this, it is like climbing the steps of a multi-story building to reach the top floor. But when one takes up devotional service, chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one simply takes the lift and then zoop, one is there on the top floor. Even before one realizes that he has come to the top floor, one is there on the top floor. Such easy process we have by the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Let us eat a lot of gulab jamuns and go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So, some comments, questions? Yeah.
Sorry, if I use the term gulabjaman, please forgive me, but I guess that's what I've understood. What if you can't see the gulabjaman connected to Krishna, and the gulabjaman still remains so attractive? Do you not eat it, or how do you balance?
Yeah, so that's why a spiritual master is there, and a spiritual master actually teaches 4 regulative principles and says that don't eat something which is inappropriate, don't gamble, follow the instructions of the spiritual master. And again, spiritual master is a person who is the servant of Krishna, who is actually the transparent via medium, who actually transfers the love of Krishna to us. So he is also love personified. So that becomes the motivation. In the beginning, the motivation is to satisfy the spiritual master. That's the motivation in the beginning. Because Krishna is so far off, and Krishna is so unreachable. But the spiritual master is very much there, and he is very much reachable. And he is love and mercy personified. And in this world, everyone is looking for this. Everyone is looking for some love. Everyone is looking for some mercy, especially in Kali Yuga. It is explained in Bhagavatam, in Kali Yuga, everyone is short-lived simply because there is no mercy in Kali Yuga. The masters are so miserly that people become short-lived. So everyone in Kali Yuga is looking for some mercy, is looking for some love, and spiritual master is the embodiment of the divine love and mercy. So when spiritual master is there, and by seeing the dealings of the spiritual master, who actually does not need anything from us, which is very, very rare in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, every benefactor is looking for some profit from us. Someone is saying, oh, this is free, that is free, buy one, get one free. All these things are there, but simply troubles are given for free in Kali Yuga. Everyone is looking for some profit from us. But spiritual master is the only person who does not look for any profit from us, but simply gives. So when one actually starts getting into that relationship is naturally very attractive. And by power of that relationship, one learns discrimination. Of course, it's not a overnight process, but compared to the process by which one gets detached by the karma, jnana and yoga, this process is quite fast. It's quite fast. Because Krishna says that if one has to come to platform of jnana, that is, I quoted the verse, that Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhaye. Very, very less people can come to the platform of jnana. And even after coming to the platform of jnana, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabaha. So we are looking about some thousands and millions of lifetimes before one could come to this platform. But by the mercy of the spiritual master, within the same lifetime, one very easily comes to the platform of understanding that which gulab jamun I can eat, which gulab jamun I should not eat. So that's the beauty of spiritual master. And spiritual master also gives the higher taste. Like I always hear Prabhupada's disciples saying that Prabhupada used to keep a big jar of gulab jamuns at the door of the temple room. And then the disciples used to go and they would just pop up one gulab jamun and then they go for book distribution. So that one gulab jamun actually inspires them to stand out there and then distribute the books for the whole day. So the spiritual master also is expert in giving the higher taste. So that the lower taste for that sinful gulab jamun, which looks so attractive previously, it doesn't disturb. There's also another devotee who actually runs Govindas in Juhu, who said that Prabhupada made for him halwa by his own hand. And he said that he has never tasted halwa which is so tasty in his whole lifetime, that he lost interest for his chocolates. So the whole episode started with chocolates. He was so attached to chocolates. Then Prabhupada said, okay, you want to eat something nice, so let me make something nice for you. So that's the mercy of the spiritual master. He manifests that mercy by which one gets the higher taste. And it's a very glorious day today that we can all remember our spiritual masters and dedicate ourselves. Of course, every day we are supposed to remember our spiritual master thrice, SS Trisandhyan. Sometimes, we think that this Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then this is all invention of Kali Yuga, that you are supposed to be thankful to your father and mother whole lifetime, but they just invented one day. One day go and give some flower, go and sweet, and then rest of the days you just throw the father out, throw the mother out, whatever they are doing, don't bother about them. Like that. So every day, SS3 Sandhyan, every day 3 times we are supposed to bow down in front of Guru, and then we are supposed to be thankful to him for what mercy he has given. But today is even more special, where we can meditate upon the mercy of the Guru. So that's the solution. That attraction is there. Krishna also accepts Vishayavani vartante niraharasya dehinaha rasovarjam rasoapyasya param drishtva nivartate. So the only solution is param drishtva. One should actually develop the higher taste. But to develop a higher taste by the conventional process of jnana yoga is almost impossible. Almost impossible. But with devotional service, because the mercy of the spiritual master is so much there, it becomes easier. Make sense? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. There was some discussion on the mystics today in the class. So I was thinking that there are a lot of mystics around the world who meditate on the material elements, the elements in nature, and then acquire mystic powers. So can they be part of ISKCON? I don't think they can, because ISKCON devotees depend wholly and solely on the holy names, which contain all the powers of Lord Krishna. So could you please comment on this?
See, anybody can be part of ISKCON. Dinahina jatachilo hariname uddharilo. This is Mahaprabhu's mercy. That whether you are karmi, jnani, yogi or useless, whatever it is, you are dina or hina, whatever it is, everybody is invited to take part and accept the mercy of the holy name. There is no discrimination in giving the holy name. He does not say, Mahaprabhu does not say that, no, yogis, you cannot have the holy name. It's not like that. Everybody. But only thing is, one has to give up his conditioning, whether it is conditioning of karma or conditioning of jnana or conditioning of yoga. One should simply accept pure devotional service. That's the principle. Anyabhlashita sunyam jnana karma adhanavritam anukulyena krishna anusilanam bhakti uttama. So that principle should be applied. Otherwise anybody can become a devotee.
Of course, they have to give up their previous occupations and all that.
Not
like
required.
Practice of mysticism and all.
No, not required. It's not required. That one need not give up their previous occupational dharma. One should simply utilize it in Krishna consciousness. One should not think that I have to do something else to become a devotee. Whatever you are doing, as long as it is not sinful, as long as it's not breaking the four regulative principles, you can utilize it, you can dovetail it in Krishna consciousness. That's the first step. Yat karoshi yat asnashi, yat jugosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So that's the first step. Then one comes to the platform of exclusively engaging into devotional service, where pleasing Krishna becomes one's topmost consideration. But in the process, one can actually use all these things in Krishna's service. There's nothing wrong. We have Alvars in South India who were like great mystic yogis. Some of the Alvars were great mystic yogis. But they simply used that in Krishna's service. Some of the Alvars were very intelligent engineers. They just used it in Krishna's service. So it's not like if one has a particular skill, it should be given up to come to Krishna consciousness. That's not the idea. That's not the idea.
I have read in the 11th canto where mystic powers were discussed between Lord Krishna and Uddhava. So there Srila Prabhupada comments, tells the ISKCON devotees that for ISKCON devotees they don't have to meditate like this on the material elements or elements in nature. But remember that Krishna is present everywhere and that he will protect his pure devotee under all circumstances.
Yeah, that is true.
So the devotee takes complete shelter on him through the holy name nowadays.
See, that is true. We don't want to become a mystic devotee. We don't want to acquire mystic powers after becoming a devotee so that we can use it in Krishna's service. That's not our idea. But if someone has already done that, then it is not that he cannot become a devotee. See, there are two distinctions. One is that when I accept the holy name, I simply accept the holy name, I chant the holy name, I accept the mercy of the spiritual master. I want to go back home, back to Godhead without bothering about becoming a mystic devotee or unmystic devotee or whatever it is. We don't follow all that process. Okay? But if someone is already having that, one is encouraged to utilize that in Krishna's service. So one should clearly know what one should do and what one should not do. So they're not contradictory. When we say these things, it's not contradictory. Ultimately, everything should be understood that everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be utilized in the service of Krishna. Isavashyamidam sarvam yatkinche jagatyam jagat tena tektena bhunjita magrida kaschasvidhanam. That is the principle that one should understand. Everything should be utilized in Krishna's service, and one should not become envious of other person who has something which is not ordained for him. Like a devotee should not become envious of a mystic who has some mystic powers and then think, oh, why he is having it, why I am not having it. That's not there. If he is having it, he is having it. According to his karma, he is having it. So let him utilize that in Krishna's service. Let me utilize what I have in Krishna's service. So that should be the mood.
Prabhuji, I was trying to know about this. I have no much knowledge about this, so I cannot give much more counter arguments or something like that.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Any question from Matajis? One question, if it is there. Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sanatana Goswami ki, Guru Purnima Mahotsav ki, Gaur Premanande.